Rain taps on a New England window, distant clock ticking. I'm Tom Bennett, 62, widower, ex-construction engineer. I build things straight, plumb, and level. People? Not always. The meatloaf is warm, the house is quiet, and my phone lights up. Ashley. My daughter. Hey kiddo. I say, trying not to sound lonely. Dad, how are you holding up? Her voice is honey, warm, soothing, practiced. I feel my shoulders drop. That's what a toxic pattern does. It rewards you with crumbs. I'm fine, I tell her. Paid the gas bill. Checked the gutters. Your mom would have nagged me about both. She laughs, a little too bright. We were just talking about you. I want you safe. And Brognan didn't like dead it. There it is, enabler language wrapped in care. I note it, let it sail by. We hang up, at least I think we do. Click. Rustle. Purse zipper. Voices. Ashley again, but stripped of empathy. He left the burner on last week. Brandon. He's slipping. We can't babysit. Brandon. My son-in-law, the spreadsheet narcissist, with a smile. It's time. Nursing home. Also, Denver comps are insane. This place is pushing $900K easy. We sell, we get him placed, we finally move on that Boulder house. I stop breathing. Ashley. He'll sign anything if I call it for his safety. He's grateful, he trusts me. Brandon. Good. We strike while he still trusts you. The clock grows louder. There's a word for this. Gaslighting. Dress a grab for assets like a hug. Call entitlement. Care. I don't hang up. I let the call run until the truth burns. When I finally set the phone down, my hands are stone. I walk to the mantel, touch Emily's photo, my late wife, the woman who taught me to tell the truth even when my voice shakes. I whisper. I'm done being polite. Cut to my home office, top drawer. The will labeled in my handwriting, updated when Emily died. Title in my name only. No liens, no joint owners, no POA on file. I lay out bank statements, tuition receipts, and wedding invoices like evidence on a courtroom table. I scroll my texts. Ashley, 6 months ago. Dad, we'll pay you back for the transmission. Promise. 1. Bank app. Transfer $3,000 out on that exact date. Written evidence of a pattern. Ask, take, forget. I open my email. Subject lines like receipts of erosion. Can we put utilities on your account for just a month? We'll cover groceries next week. They never do. I record a short voice memo, time, date, what I overheard. If this turns legal, timestamps matter. Phone buzz. Text from Ashley. Dad forgot to say don't stress about bills. We'll help you manage stuff soon. Subtext. Sign a power of attorney, hand me the keys. Not today. I dial Lena Park, a real estate and estates attorney I met at church bingo of all places. When grief turned me into fog after Emily's funeral, Lena helped notarize my will update. Sharp, calm, no nonsense. Tom, everything okay? Question. Hypothetical. My voice is steady. If adult children push nursing homes and selling a parent's house, what can they actually do? Legally? She doesn't breathe for a beat. If your deed is in your name and there's no POA, they can't sell. They can pressure. They can manipulate. But they can't transfer title without your signature. What if they try to create a POA after the fact? Forgery is a crime. Keep every message. Any written evidence goes in a safe folder. Also, if you suspect undue influence or elder financial abuse, we document now. I look at Emily's bay window. I built it by hand. What if I sell first? Cash. Clean. Before they're back from a business trip paid with my grocery money. Then you're not prey, Lena says. You're a principal. And we do it by the book, clean title, proper disclosures, wired to a new bank account they don't know exists. Boundaries aren't war, Tom. They're safety rails. I hang up. I open a new note labeled PLAN. Document. Save Ashley's texts, my memo, screenshots. Protect. Freeze old online banking logins. Open private banking account at a different institution. Consult. Lena quarterbacking legal. Request title search today. Act. Target cash buyer. No financing contingency. 10-day close. Control the narrative. Do not argue. Do not explain. Boundaries in writing. Another text pops. Brandon. Hey Tom. Quick thought. Ever consider a resort-style retirement? We could tour places together when we're back. Translation. I'll warehouse you nicely. Then list your house. I type, then delete. No defense, no debate. Defensiveness feeds narcissists. Silence starves them. I send one line to Lena instead. Proceed. SFX. Printer warms up. Deed copy spits out. I take a photo for my records and slide the original back where it belongs. I stand in the kitchen and flip the light on and off. Old habit testing circuits. The house hums like a machine I understand. People are messier, but the principles aren't. Incentives, leverage, proof. I open my laptop and type, Top Cash Buyers Portsmouth NH. Title company closing speed. Attorney escrow wiring instructions. I email Lena. Subject, Bennett sale and escrow details, with my ID scans and the latest tax bill. Then I text myself a reminder, out loud as I type, this is for the VO, and for my spine. Was I enabling their toxic behavior by being too nice? Yes. It stops now. SFX. Rain intensifies. A car splashes past outside. The phone rings again, Ashley. I let it go to nowhere. She'll notice the silence. Narcissists hate silence. I write the first sentence of the letter they'll find if they ever make it inside. If you're reading this, it means I didn't let your urgency become my emergency. I sign my name the way Emily loved block letters. Steady hand. Tonight isn't revenge. Tonight is triage. Tighten the valves. Close the accounts. Move the assets. Put the oxygen mask on myself first. You want a label for that? Call it boundaries. Call it adulting. Call it what it is. Taking back control. Drawer slides open. Paper rustle. A single clock tick. I keep everything. Engineers do. If you can't prove it on paper, it didn't happen. Top shelf of the hall closet. A banker's box labeled house, vertical bar, tax, vertical bar, Emily. I set it on the dining table and start laying out my life like evidence for a jury, because that's what toxic people hate most. Written evidence. Click. Photo of Emily in a hard hat, lemonade in one hand, the other on her belly, when Ashley was a rumor and a heartbeat. Slip. Receipts. Home Depot runs from $1,999. Line items circled in Emily's neat pen, 3/4 oak, finish nails, joist hangers, staple. The will we updated when Emily died. Title to Tom Bennett. Sole owner. No co-signers. No life estate for kids. No joint tenancy with anyone. My signature. A notary seal. Legal spine. I sort the rest into piles. Education, wedding, lifelines. Education. Tuition payments to UNH. 4 years of transfers. I whisper the numbers, because numbers tell you who showed up. $11,850. $12,200. $12,450. $11,500. My overtime poured into someone else's future. Wedding. A venue I couldn't afford. Seacoast Adirondack Lodge deposit email with emoji hearts. Then their final balance auto invoice. $28,600. Handwritten note from me in the margin. We agreed on 8. Emily's annotation beneath it. Tom choose peace for one night. We paid it. We smiled. That's how a people pleaser becomes an enabler. You turn generosity into policy. Lifelines. Brandon's car transmission. $3,000. Their rent, bridge, $1,400. 3 months running. Groceries, just for now. Every Venmo line reads like a soft apology. My phone buzzes. A group text I didn't ask for. Family. 3. Ashley. Dad. For your information, when we land Friday, let's swing by and help you sort meds and mail. We'll get your bills on autopay so you don't stress. Subtext. Power of attorney light. I screenshot. Save to a folder named Bennett Boundary File. I open Bank of New England online. I change my password to something long and ugly. I disable paperless and flip everything back to paper mail so there's a trail I control. I schedule an appointment with Harbor Private Bank for a new account. New routing number, no shared alerts. Email to myself. Subject. Affidavit notes, overheard call. I type the timestamp, the phrases they used: nursing home, burden, sell for $900K, strike while he still trusts you. I attach the voice memo from last night. Chain of custody starts now. A shadow moves at the window. Mrs. Ramirez, my neighbor, watering her mums. She taught Ashley to ride a bike in this cul-de-sac. Witnesses don't think of themselves as witnesses until someone asks. I step outside. Morning, Teresa. She studies my face like she's reading a blueprint. You look like you slept on nails, Tom. Question, I say. If somebody ever asked if I was lucid and paying my own bills, would you be willing to write a line about me walking the dog at 6 a.m. for 10 years and arguing with the city over the storm drain grades? She smiles. I'd write a novel. What's going on? Boundary work, I say. Long overdue. Back inside. I pull the pocket watch Emily gave me when I retired from my last site, engraved on the back. Build what lasts. I set it next to the deed like a compass. SFX, printer spools up. I print a title abstract request for Lena's office and scan my ID. I include the latest property tax bill and utility account numbers. Buyers like clean files, and so do judges if it ever gets there. I attach the PDFs to an email. To Lena Park, Esquire. Subject: Bennett deed, tax, utility, timeline. Body: title in my name only. No liens. No POA. Suspected undue influence by adult child plus spouse. See attached memo, time-stamped. Request: begin title search, prep seller's disclosures, and initiate contact with cash buyers. I will open a new escrow and bank account before any executed contract. Tom. Her reply arrives before the printer cools. Lena. Received. I'll have my closer start the title. I want wire instructions sent directly to me from the escrow. You'll approve in person. 2 notes. Do not sign anything Ashley brings labeled for safety or autopay setup. Could be a springing POA. Save every text divided by email. If they escalate, we send a letter of representation and funnel communications through me. Boundaries are legal too. Ding. New email, Brandon. Subject: planning ahead for Dad. Tom. Ashley's worried. We found a resort care community that keeps independence and dignity. They'd need your medical directives and financial info to get on the wait list. Totally optional. We can show you Friday. BB. I start a reply. I delete it. Arguing with a narcissist is like throwing a rope down a well and calling it a bridge. I drag the email into boundary file. I move on to logistics. Insurance. I call my agent. No, I'm not adding anyone as an additional insured. No, I'm not changing the mailing address. Utilities. I set a pin on my accounts. No one can help by calling in as me. Credit. I place a fraud alert and lock my credit. If a fake POA shows up somewhere, it hits a wall. SFX. The old house groans, winter settling in early. Memory hits me like a tool bag to the ribs. Ashley at 9, sitting cross-legged on the subfloor, handing me nails like a foreman. Why so many nails, Dad? Because we don't want squeaks, I told her. Houses talk. We keep them honest. I glance at the phone. A new text from Ashley drops in hot. Ashley. Random, do you still keep your spare keys in the blue mug above the fridge? Want to swap the key ring when we're back? Brandon thinks we should update locks for safety. I stare at it. Gaslighting in lowercase letters. Safety for whom? I take a photo of the mug. Empty. I reply with one word. No. Then I set the mug in the dishwasher and hit start like I'm washing a decade of enabling off the ceramic. I open a fresh legal pad. At the top I write, "This isn't punishment, it's prevention." Under it, a checklist. New bank appointment booked. Escrow. Title. Disclosures. Lena in motion. Change locks after closing, not before. Storage unit for their boxes. A clean chain of custody receipt. Letter calm, factual, final. No insults. Only boundaries plus outcomes. The next ding is softer email from Harbor Private Bank confirming my Thursday slot with a private banker named Evan Cole. No relation to Brandon, but I smile at the coincidence. The universe has a sense of humor. I send Lena one last line. Me. Proceed at pace. If they push, we push paper. I gather the receipts, the will, the statements, and slide them into a waterproof folder. I lock it in Emily's cedar chest, the only safe I ever trusted. Then I speak it out loud so the house hears me, so I hear me. I'm not your burden, I'm the owner. And owners decide. Grade in that. SFX. Pocket watch snaps shut. On Friday they'll step into a story where my silence stops being consent. Today I build the frame, proof, process, protections. The nails go where they should. The squeaks stop. That's not revenge. That's integrity with a backbone. Office HVAC hum. A laser printer chirps. Legal pads slide across wood. Lena Park runs a small practice above a coffee shop. No marble floors, no ego wall. Just casebooks, a map of Rockingham County, and a framed quote, "Paper is how truth survives." She waves me in. "Tom, sit. We're going to make this boring in all the right ways." "I like boring," I say. "Boring keeps roofs on." She clicks record on a tiny device. Client consult, Bennett, date divided by time. "Okay, walk me through facts once, clean." Like an incident report, I give her the essentials. The call that didn't hang up, the words, burden, nursing home, sell for $900K, the texts about keys and safety. My will naming me sole owner, no POA, no liens, and my paper trail, tuition, wedding, transfers. I hand over a thumb drive labeled boundary file. Lena scans as she listens. "Good. You're organized. Judges love that. Abusers don't. Do they have any legal foothold?" I ask. "None you haven't given them," she says. "Your deed is in your name only. New Hampshire uses attorneys at closing. We'll control the table. Without a signed durable power of attorney or springing POA that's properly executed, they can't touch title, accounts, or med decisions. They can bluff. They can gaslight. They can't convey." She swivels to her monitor. "I ordered a preliminary title report the minute you emailed. Schedule A confirms you as fee simple owner. Schedule B standard exceptions. No liens, no judgments, no encumbrances. Taxes current, so they can't sell me out from under me. They can try a USPS change of address to divert mail, or fish for a bank helpful override. You already set pins and a fraud alert, good. We'll add a credit freeze across all bureaus. I'll also send your banks a letter putting them on notice, elder financial abuse risk. If Ashley or Brandon call on your behalf, I want them bounced." She opens a clean folder and writes strategy at the top. Step 1, protection. We move your liquid funds to a new bank with private client controls. No shared phone numbers, no email overlaps with family iCloud. Wire routing never travels by plain email. Escrow will send via secure portal, and you'll verify by live phone using a known number from my card. Step 2, control the asset. We list off-market to a vetted cash buyer pool. No appraisal, no bank delays. 10 business day close is realistic if title stays clean. Step 3, paper boundary. If they escalate, I issue a letter of representation. All contact about housing, finances, and care must route through me. You don't argue. You don't explain. Narcissists feed on reaction. She looks at me over her glasses. "You okay with no contact light for a while?" "I've been an enabler long enough," I say. Silence is a boundary. Her paralegal, Jonah, knocks and slides in a stapled packet. Prelim from the registry, plus something weird. Lena scans, then frowns. "Here we go." "What?" "Tree. 6 months ago, a notarized letter tried to record as a notice of authority garbage document claiming Ashley had temporary management rights over your property for safety reasons." She taps the margin. "Recorder rejected it. Wrong form, wrong statute, wrong everything." "Who notarized?" She reads the stamp. "Traveling notary from a shipping store." This is what I call forgery adjacent. Not a clean felony, but a trial balloon. We'll preserve it. I feel my jaw set. So they already tested the fence. People who intend to cross a line measure it first, Lena says. We get ahead of them. She pulls up comps on her screen. Portsmouth outskirts, 3 halves, 5, 3,000, 200, 3,000, 600, SQ, FT, recent remodels, numbers I don't need to hear but do need to own. Market strong. If I ping 3 buyers today, we'll have letters of intent by tomorrow. We use my seller's counsel contract as is, cash, 7-day inspection for buyer's peace of mind, but no nickel and diming. You'll get a settlement statement, CD, ahead of closing, and the wire hits same day. Buyers meet me? They meet me, she says. You meet a notary, sign deed, New Hampshire, warranty deed, and a couple tax forms. We'll pre-clear your payoff, which is 0, so it's clean. What about them showing up, yelling, crying, performing? Then we move the signing to my conference room. I've got white noise, locked doors, and the patience of a saint who litigates. If they step over a line, we add harassment to the file. My phone buzzes on the table. Ashley again. Ashley. Dad, can you send me a list of your bank accounts and passwords? If something happened to you, I'd be helpless. This is what responsible families do. Lena reads it as it lands. Screenshot. Forward to me. That's undue influence language wrapped in Hallmark. I forward and mute the thread. Lena's tone softens half a degree. Tom, I know the guilt script. Good dads don't make waves. That script keeps families toxic for generations. You're not punishing anyone. You're practicing risk management. And I nod. Emily used to say, build what lasts. I've been building excuses. Today you're building boundaries, Lena says. They last longer. Jonah reappears with a manila envelope. Buyer packet ready. 3 investors, proof of funds attached. All can wire under 4 hours once they have a signed contract. Pick the one with the least drama, I say. Lena smiles. They're all boring on purpose. Before I leave, she hands me a 1-pager titled, If They Show Up, Do Not Let Them In. Say, my attorney asked me not to discuss this. If they mention POA, say, I have none. If they escalate, call the non-emergency line. Ask for a civil standby. Text me. Code red. At the door, she pauses. Last thing, check your USPS account. Make sure no one filed a change of address on you. I already feel lighter. Not happy, just aligned. What do I owe you today? She shakes her head. We'll settle at closing. Go to Harbor Private. Get the new account. When contracts hit, come back. We'll sign clean. SFX. Street noise. A gull cries. Coffee grinder downstairs. On the sidewalk, I open the USPS app. No change of address on file. I set a 2FA lock anyway. Ashley texts again. Rapid fire now. Ashley. Also need a copy of the will. Jeremy says their HR has a benefit that helps with elder care if we submit paperwork. Ashley. We're just trying to help. Don't make this weird. And creature. I type 2 words, then show them to the camera in my head. Like written evidence for later. Not available. Then I hit mute and walk toward the bank. The plan isn't loud. The plan is lawful. And lawful, I'm learning, is louder than shouting. Silence doesn't mean surrender. It means I'm measuring. I stare at the phone. Ashley. I call her first controlled burn, not a wildfire. Hey kiddo. I start. Soft edges. Been thinking about safety. The line brightens. Dad, I'm so glad you said that. Brandon found a resort-style community. Independent living, medical staff on site. We can schedule a tour Friday? Translation. Sign me in. Sign me off. Maybe, I say. But I'd need to understand logistics. Who signs what? How do bills get paid? Where do my bank accounts sit in all that? She doesn't miss a beat. We can handle it. If you give me your logins and we do a simple power of attorney, I can put everything on autopay. No stress. No stress. There it is, the script. Wrap a grab in bubble wrap, call it love. I keep my tone grandfatherly. Text me the brochure, and the POA you mentioned, email a copy. I'll look. We hang up. I forward the incoming files to Lena in under 5 seconds. Lena. Good. Do not sign. That POA is broad banking, real estate, health, the works. If they push, we reply with my letter of representation, and like them, I set the phone down and admit something out loud. So it lives in the air, and not under my ribs. Was I enabling their toxic behavior by being too nice? Yes. I called people-pleasing, keeping the peace. That peace cost me boundaries. Door knocker 2 light taps. It's Mrs. Ramirez with a Tupperware of empanadas and eyes that see through drywall. You look like you're arguing with a ghost. Close, I say, taking the food. I'm arguing with a habit. She nods at the legal pad on my table. Habits break when paper shows up. When she leaves, I open my laptop. Harbor Private Bank appointment confirmed. Inbox. 3 letters of intent from Lena's buyer pool cash offers. Proof of funds attached. 10-day close. Boring, in the best way. I call Brandon next, because predators love thinking you picked them. Brandon, I say, casual. I'm open to touring that place. But before I let anyone touch my accounts, send me the care contract, fee schedule, and the admission paperwork. Want to see the arbitration clause too. He laughs like we're buddies. Tom, You don't need to get in the weeds. We'll handle forms. Send the PDFs. I repeat, and hang up. They arrive minutes later. Glossy smiles, tiny footnotes. I forward to Lena. Mandatory binding arbitration. Sweeping indemnity. Waiver of jury trial. If you were truly choosing this, I'd redline half of it. Since you're not, these are exhibits in a pattern of undue influence. Good. Into the file it goes. I lace up my boots and take a slow lap around the house. The bay window I built for Emily leans a gold rectangle across the floor, afternoon sun like a benediction. This isn't about punishing anyone. It's about being a better executor of my own life than my guilt has been. Phone buzz, family lights up. Ashley. Dad, can you send me pics of your meds and a list of your doctors, in case of emergency? Quote, Brandon. Also, your social and insurance policy numbers, the community's finance person asked. I screenshot, archive. Written evidence doesn't roll its eyes, it just waits. I send one line to the thread. All requests go through my attorney. Then I paste Lena's contact and mute the conversation. 10 minutes later, my phone lights with a private number. I let it go. The voicemail transcribes itself. Tom, this is Brandon. You're making this adversarial. We're family. Don't lawyer up on us. There it is again, the gaslighting pivot. My boundaries equals aggression. Their grab equals care. I make coffee and call Lena on speaker. He left a voicemail. Save it, she says. Also heads up. Title search is clear. I've got your contract teed up. As is, cash. Non-refundable earnest money after inspection. No concessions. Sign with my notary at 3 p.m. We open escrow before close of business. Wire routing comes from my portal. We verify by voice using the number on my card. No one emails numbers. Ever. Understood. And Tom, New Hampshire is an all-party consent state for recordings. Don't tape phone calls without notice. Your contemporaneous notes and their texts divided by emails are enough. Copy that, I say. The engineer in me appreciates the codebook. Before 3 p.m., I drive to Harbor Private Bank. Evan is younger than my tools, but all business. We'll set new accounts, separate online banking profile, no shared emails divided by phones, add voice print security. Any wire out requires in-person approval or your pre-registered callback number. Good, I tell him. I like locks. He slides over a folder. Reg E, disclosures, privacy policy, debit card in a plain envelope, checkbook I'll barely use. The banker's smile softens when he adds, my grandfather got scammed by a cousin. We built this department to stop exactly that. I'm not the only one, huh? Not by a mile. By 3 p.m., I'm back in Lena's office. The agreement is exactly what she promised. Simple, clean, unfriendly to drama. I read every line like a beam calculation and sign where the tabs tell me. The notary stamps. The room smells like toner and victory. Lena, you just moved the asset out of reach. Closing in 10 business days. Possession per agreement. Next locks, but only after. And Tom, if they show up, use the script. I know it. I fold the script into my wallet. Do not let them in. My attorney asked me not to discuss this. No POA. Call for a civil standby if needed. Text Lena. Code red. On the drive home, I practice a different line out loud. For me, I stopped being nice and started being fair. Phone buzz, last flare before nightfall. Ashley. Text. Dad, I'm honestly hurt. We've done nothing but care for you, and you're treating us like criminals. I answer with a sentence I wish I'd learned in my 30s. Care without respect for my boundaries isn't care. It's control. No emojis. No exclamation points. Just terms. Legal ones, human ones. At home, I pull Emily's pocket watch and set it by the sink while I wash a single plate. The engraving catches light. Build what lasts. I used to think that meant houses. Tonight it means self-respect, with paperwork. My silence wasn't consent. It was set up. Tomorrow is execution. Copier hum, pens click. The low thud of a file landing on a desk. Paper isn't flashy. Paper wins. By 9 a.m., Lena's closer has escrow open and a secure portal link in my inbox. The email contains exactly 3 things. The file number, the escrow officer's direct line, and a warning banner in bold, we will never change wire instructions by email. Good. That sentence is a seatbelt. Phone rings. I answer on speaker. Tom, it's Marta with Granite Title and Escrow. I'm sending preliminary settlement figures. At closing, you'll sign the New Hampshire warranty deed, a 1099S certification, and we'll wire your net proceeds to your new Harbor private account. We verify by a live callback to the number on your ID. No exceptions. No exceptions is my love language, I say. I open the settlement statement, CD. Line items make sense. Contract price, minus small state transfer tax, title fees, a courier charge that always makes me smile, and Lena's legal fee. Net number, large, simple, clean, ding. New message in the portal. Buyer's earnest money wired and posted, becomes non-refundable after inspection. It's there in black and white. There's skin in the game. I call Harbor Private. Evan, expect an incoming wire next Friday. I want a two-step hold. Internal fraud screen first, then release into my private client checking. No linked transfers, no Zelle, no external ACHs until I walk in with ID and say a password only you and I know. What password? I look at Emily's pocket watch on the table. Build what lasts. Done, he says. Camera shutter. I take photos of the wire instructions, not the numbers, just the Harbor letterhead and callback protocol, and drop them into my boundary file. If anyone tries to run a phishing play, they'll have to box a banker who builds tripwires for sport. Lena calls next. Inspection at 1 p.m. Don't entertain repairs. Buyers knew it was as is. Jonah will be there, not you. I'm not a tour guide, I tell her. I'm a principal. No kidding, she says, smiling through the phone. Cut to 1 p.m. Jonah texts me a photo of my beamwork in the living room with a caption. Inspector said it's better than most new builds. I let myself feel one breath of pride and move on. Printer kicks again. Next up, use and occupancy. Lena slides a 2-page agreement across the table when I stop by at 3. Post-closing use and occupancy for 14 days, not a lease. You pay $1 total. Symbolic. It gives you the legal right to be here while you move what matters and stage whatever narrative you choose. 2000 potty. I read it. It's crisp. No tenant rights created. Seller carries insurance for those 14 days. Buyer's insurance begins at closing. Keys remain with me until the handoff date. Then go to Granite Title for the buyer pickup. My initials land where her tabs want them. People will think you used a life estate, Lena says, watching me sign. We didn't need it. Clean title keeps drama out. Your boundary is time and paperwork, not handcuffs. Good, I say. I don't want a haunted deed. I want a haunted conscience. She grins. You're getting good at this. Email ping. Granite Title. Inspection contingency released. Closing set for Friday 10:30 a.m. Location, our conference room. We are officially boring, which is to say, ahead. I spend the evening on logistics. I book North Shore Storage 5x10 unit, month to month, climate controlled. I print 3 blank chain of custody forms. Box count. Description. Who moved it. Date. Time. If Ashley tries the "you stole our things" routine, I'll hand her a signed receipt with a GPS stamp. I text Mrs. Ramirez. Teresa, if anyone asks you to let them into my house this week, please say no and text me. I'll have a civil standby number ready. Idea. Mrs. Ramirez. Already made tea for the cops twice this year. I'm practiced. Phone buzz family. Ashley. Dad, you're not answering. Are you mad? We just want what's best. Please don't shut us out. Brandon. This stonewalling is unnecessary. Elder care is complex, let us coordinate. We need your insurance, account numbers, and a copy of the will. To Enzer. To doer Breadbasser. I forward the thread to Lena and type one sentence into the group. All financial and housing questions go through my attorney. Contact card attached. I watch the typing bubble appear, disappear, appear again, then nothing. The quiet tastes like dignity. Cut to Friday, closing day. Door seal hush. Conference room white noise. The faint drag of paper across laminate. Marta lays out the stack. Deed, CD, 1099S. Notice of wire fraud. Payoff statement blank because there's no mortgage tax form W-9. She points. I sign. The notary stamps like a metronome. Marta, now we verify the wire. I'm calling the number on my card. You'll confirm the last 4 of the Harbor private account and your password. The phone rings on Evan's desk across town. He answers on the first ring. Harbor Private. This is Evan. Marta with granite title. We're releasing Mr. Bennett's proceeds. Please verify the last four. Confirmed, Evan says. And Mr. Bennett. What's our phrase? I say it clearly. Build what lasts. Wire cleared, he replies. Funds will post within 30 minutes. We'll hold per your instruction until you're physically here. Marta hangs up, smiles like a pilot after a clean landing. Congratulations, Mr. Bennett. You're closed. I walk out lighter, not richer, that's a side effect. Lighter because the leverage shifted to where it belonged, back in my hands. Car door, seatbelt click. On the way home, I dictate a short memo into my phone, contemporaneous record time. Date, where, who, what I signed. Paper beats memory when people get loud. At the house, I pack deliberately. Emily's jewelry box, photo albums, the pocket watch, my engineer's license, the chair that remembers my back, a life, condensed to what matters, and what fits. Box tape zips, keychain clinks. I draft the letter Ashley and Brandon will read when they finally test a lock that no longer answers to them. Factual, not cruel. If you're reading this, the sale closed. My money is in a bank account you do not control. Your belongings are at North Shore Storage, present ID to claim within 30 days. After that, storage fees are yours. I will not sign a power of attorney. I will not move to a facility you picked. Going forward, communicate only through my attorney, Miss Lena Park. Care without boundaries is not care. It's control. Tom. I print 3 copies. One for the entry, one for the boundary file, one for Lena, before I tape it to the inside of the door. I text granite title. Me. Confirm buyer key pickup scheduled Monday 9 a.m. I retain keys until Sunday, midnight under use and occupancy. Me. Granite. Confirmed. Got inside. I place the new keys on the counter, take a time-stamped photo, and drop it into the file. Chain of custody for locks is a thing now. It's my thing. Voicemail chime. Brandon. Voicemail. Tom, this creates tax issues. You should have consulted us. Capital gains. Basis this is reckless. I grin despite myself. Hi Brandon. IRC Section 121 exclusion $250,000 for a single filer on a primary residence covers a lot of reckless. I met the 2 out of 5 years test. My CPA will handle basis. Your concern is noted and irrelevant. I don't send it. I say it to the dishes. That's enough. SFX. Phone rings. Evan. Funds posted, he says. We've placed the internal hold you requested. Ready when you are. He said day were tonight. I'll be there at 4, I tell him. And Evan? Yes, sir. Thanks for building locks. Thanks for using them, he says. I hang up and take one last lap through the place Emily and I built. I'm not mourning a house. I'm honoring a standard. Do it right, or don't do it. I did it right. On paper, tomorrow I'll change the locks per the agreement, set the camera by the door, and let facts do the talking when entitlement shows up with a key that doesn't fit. Revenge? No. This is risk management with a soul. Pocket watch snaps shut. Fade. Silence doesn't mean surrender. It means I'm measuring. Here's the corrected English line. Kettle simmers softly. Rain hisses under the eaves. Silence doesn't mean surrender. It means I'm measuring. Trunk thump. Tool bag zips. A door chime pings once. I don't change locks to be dramatic. I change locks to be accurate. Per the use and occupancy agreement Lena drafted. I retain possession through Sunday midnight. That means today Saturday belongs to hardware and documentation. First stop, Harbor Private. I sign the wire receipt, set my voice print again, and add a cashier's check limit, requiring in-person ID. No one is helping me move money by phone. Evan grins. Most people hate friction, he says. You're installing it. Good. Next. Granite title. I drop off a sealed envelope for the buyers, 2 keys labeled and photographed, plus a note. Pick up Monday 9 a.m., per escrow. Chain of custody for keys is not mandatory. It's just smart. Cut to my front step. Overcast. The kind of New England sky that makes brass hardware look colder. From my bag, ANSI, grade 1 deadbolts, new cylinders for the knob and garage side door, and a smart lock with a local-only mode not cloud-tethered, not hackable with a forgotten email. I lay them out like surgical instruments. I take time-stamped photos of the old hardware, the box labels, The install. If anyone claims you locked us out, I'll point to the agreement and the clock. Screwdriver bites. Plate taps. A clean latch click. I test the new deadbolt 3 times, smooth throw, no drag. The sound is different, not the soft, domestic clunk of the past 15 years. This one is decisive. I install the same on the back door and the garage divided by service door. I keep the old cylinders in a zip bag, Sharpie. Bennett, retired 11:22 a.m. Into the boundary file they go. Phone buzz. Mrs. Remires. Saw your ladder. Need a spotter? Me. I'm good. If anyone asks you for entry, don't. Text me, and I'll request a civil standby. Mrs. Remires. Copy. Tea's ready if cops come. Back inside, I unbox what Lena calls my quiet witness, a plug-in camera disguised as a USB charger. No cloud subscription. Local SD card plus LAN-only stream to my phone. I set it by the entry outlet, angle it to capture door foyer mantle, the perfect frame for a person reading a letter. I hold my phone, check the feed. The image is crisp enough to read eyebrows. Audio is clean. I label the device front divided by entry 01. Because names matter when you're creating evidence you might actually use. SFX. Envelope flap seals. The letter goes where it belongs, eye level. Inside the door. Painter's tape to spare the finish. I add one line at the top that wasn't in the first draft. This is a boundary, not a fight. I step back, look at the shot through the camera. Perfect. Box tape. Marker squeak. I finish packing Ashley and Brandon's stray things into banker boxes and log each one on the custody sheet. Box 2, 2 hoodies, 1 textbook, intro to digital marketing, 1 mug, hustle, assorted mail addressed to them forwarded. Every box gets a photo and a numbered tamper seal. Van door slide. Storage unit clank. At North Shore Storage, the manager initials my forms, scans my ID, and hands me a clean receipt. I sign where the line tells me. On the way back, I dictate a short memo into my notes app. Time in, time out, unit number. A line that reads like courtroom air. Property stored without damage. Access available MF 9.6 with ID. SFX. Rain starts. Light at first. Back home, I run the smart lock in local mode, 2 PIN codes. 1 for me, 1 temporary for the buyer's agent Monday at 9:15, after Granite confirms pickup. I write both codes in a sealed envelope for Marta at escrow, then lock my copies in Emily's cedar chest. Object permanence is the opposite of gaslighting. Things are where they say they are. Phone rings. Unknown number. I send it to voicemail. Transcription rolls in. Mr. Bennett, this is Hannah from Silver Pines Senior Living. Ashley said you'd like a tour and that she holds your medical and financial POA. We just need your DOB and last 4 of your SSN to complete the pre-check. My jaw goes hot, then cold. I call back, but my tone is a legal pad. Hannah, this is Tom Bennett. I do not have a power of attorney. No one holds authority over my medical or financial decisions. Remove any such note. Please document that I requested it, and email me confirmation. She stammers through a policy script. Of course, sir. We're sorry for the confusion. Send me your HIPAA and admissions forms, I add. I'd like to read the arbitration and indemnity clauses for my records. She agrees. I forward the call summary to Lena and save Hannah's voicemail in the boundary file as exhibit attempted authority claim. Text tone, family lights up again. Ashley. Wow. Calling our providers to embarrass us? That's toxic, Dad. Brandon. We told them we were helping. You just made this adversarial. I type and delete twice. I end up sending the only sentence that matters. Do not represent you hold my POA. That claim is false. Then I paste Lena's contact again and mute the thread for the day. By late afternoon, the house is staged for the moment I've avoided all my life. The hardware test: do these people respect a lock, a letter, a law, distant car door? Voices. The camera app pings. Motion detected. It's earlier than expected. A black SUV noses into my driveway. Ashley exits first. Hair perfect. Phone already in her hand, filming for her private jury. Brandon lingers by the mailbox, surveying, calculating. Through the camera feed, I watch in silence as Ashley fishes out the old key, that familiar brass. She slides it in, jiggles, frowns. Tries again. The deadbolt doesn't even pretend. She knocks. Hard. I don't move. The use and occupancy says I don't have to. She thumbs furiously. and my phone lights up with a call I won't take. Brandon tries the garage keypad. I already wiped it. He tests the side door. New cylinder. Same no. Ashley puts her mouth to the door like a prosecutor. Dad, this is ridiculous. Open up. We need to talk. I speak loud enough for the camera, not the door. All communication goes through my attorney. The words land like a stamped form. Stop hiding behind a lawyer. She fires back. Families don't do lawyers. Toxic families avoid paper, I say, calm. Healthy families respect boundaries. Brandon switches tactics, voice smooth narcissist de-escalation. Tom, we'll just step in for a minute. We brought your favorite coffee. We can set up autopay together. Leave the coffee, I say. Keep the manipulation. Ashley's tone spikes. You sold the house, didn't you? She's not asking. She's reading my posture and the weather. I don't confirm. I don't deny. I point to the letter through the door. There's a note taped inside. You'll read it when it's appropriate. He wants to good. She tries the old key one more time, as if disrespect can machine a new pin pattern. It can't. Brandon's mask slips. This is elder abuse by you. You're isolating. We'll call Adult Protective Services. I don't rise. Call whomever you like. I'll have Lena meet them with documents. He curses, low. Ashley pulls out her phone, typing rage into a screen that won't love her back. Then they stomp to the SUV, peel out, and leave the coffee on the step like an offering to a god who reads contracts. Doorbell chime. Mrs. Ramirez appears in the camera frame, lifts the tray, knocks gently, and sets it on my bench. She looks into the lens and says, I saw nothing except a man minding his house. Then she winks an affidavit waiting for a signature. I exhale. My hands shake, a little. Breaking a people-pleasing habit is manual labor. I sit at the table and add a line to my memo. Hardware test passed. Keys don't fit. Script held. No yelling. No explanations. Witness available. I retrieve the letter, reread it once, and tape it back with an extra piece of blue painter's tape. Boundaries deserve redundancy. Tomorrow is the reveal. Not with shouting, with proof. Morning rain eases. The house is a held breath. Phone vibrates once. The camera app flags motion detected 9 hours 7 minutes and 13 seconds. Right on schedule. Black SUV. Same choreography. Ashley first, Brandon second. Confidence like cologne. She tries the old brass key again, ritual, not logic. Nothing. Brandon checks the garage keypad I wiped last night. Nothing. Their faces do the math. New hardware. New rules. I speak to the door, not through it. There's a letter taped inside. Read it when it's appropriate. Ashley flattens her palm to the window. Dad, this is childish. We're not leaving until you open this door. All communication goes through my attorney. She huffs, steps back. Fine. She fishes a credit card out like a YouTube locksmith. It bends. The latch doesn't. She finally notices the edge of white behind the glass and points. What is that? Brandon cups his hands to block glare. A letter. He staged a letter. To unite. He paces like a man who thought he was the smartest person in the room and discovered there was a room he couldn't enter. I'm calling APS, he mutters for the camera he assumes I'm not smart enough to own. I answer before he dials. Call Adult Protective Services. Ask for a civil standby while you're at it. I'll bring documents. Footsteps on gravel. A familiar voice. Mrs. Ramirez appears at the edge of the frame with her soda can umbrella and the calm of a retired school principal. Morning, she says to them. He's not required to let you in. Use your words, not your shoulders. Ashley turns the wattage up. Mrs. Ramirez, this is a family matter. In law, I haven't liked signs of Partontown. Most emergencies people claim are just boundaries they don't like. Teresa replies. I'm happy to put that in writing. Brandon calls anyway. He learns what I already know. APS doesn't break doors for adult children with entitlement issues. The dispatcher offers a non-emergency civil standby if things escalate. They do. 20 minutes. The rumble of a cruiser. 2 officers in rain jackets. I step into the foyer where the camera sees me but the sidewalk doesn't. The senior officer speaks through the door. Professional and bored, my favorite combination. Mr. Bennett, Officers Hale and Villanueva. Can you come to the door to speak, or would you prefer we talk through it? Hove relive him. Through is fine, I say. I'm Tom Bennett. I'm competent, and I retain counsel. I'm asserting my right to quiet enjoyment under a use and occupancy agreement that runs through Sunday midnight. This is my residence until then. Copy, Hale says. We're here for peacekeeping only, not a court. Ashley explodes on cue. He's being manipulated by a lawyer. He won't even let us set up his medical and financial stuff. We need his bank accounts and insurance. Hale raises a palm. Ma'am, he's an adult. Without a court order or a valid POA, you don't have authority to access any of that. She flinches at POA like it stung her. Good. Words have edges. I slide an envelope through the mail slot, a small, satisfyingly old-fashioned move. Officers, this contains a copy of my driver's license, my Harbor Private Bank confirmation, the closing statement showing I sold this property lawfully, and a letter of representation from attorney Lena Park. The letter asks all family communications to go through her. Hale opens, scans, nods. Looks in order. He turns to them. He has counsel. You'll want to contact the attorney. Ashley jabs the glass. He sold the house? Without telling us? That's elder abuse. No, I say. Even. Like a level on a sill. That's ownership. The will placed title in my name when Emily passed. New Hampshire law says I get to decide. And I did in writing. Brandon's veneer cracks. This is reckless. You triggered capital gains without consulting us. I let myself smile. IRC Section 121 exclusion. Single filer. Primary residence. 2 out of 5 years. My CPA will file the basis and cost improvements. Your concern is irrelevant. Hale coughs into his fist to hide a grin that should be in a training video. Since we're all present, I add, I'll authorize the read. I open the door 2 inches enough to retrieve the letter. Not enough to give an inch, and slide it out. Painter's tape does its quiet job. I place it on the threshold and close the door again. The camera frames them perfectly. Ashley tears the envelope. Her eyes skate across each line, pupils shrinking with every sentence. If you're reading this, closing occurred. My funds are at Harbor Private Bank under security protocols you do not control. Your belongings are at North Shore Storage Unit B, 214, under my name. Present ID within 30 days to claim. After that, fees are yours. Chain of custody forms are on file. I will not sign a power of attorney. I will not move to a facility you picked. All communication goes through attorney Lena Park. Care without respect for my boundaries is not care, it's control. Tom, her voice climbs. You can't do this to us. Hale lifts an eyebrow. He can do this for himself. Possessed, Brandon snatches the paper, scanning for a lawsuit he can conjure from adjectives. He lands on the storage line. He's confiscated our property. Stored, I correct, with receipts. I slide a second envelope through. Photocopies of North Shore Storage paperwork unit number, date divided by time, manager initials, box count, and photos with tamper seals. Villanueva studies the forms, then murmurs to Hale. This is cleaner than our evidence locker. Ashley's anger pivots to pleading, a classic gaslighting move. Dad, please. We're family. We wanted what's best. If you wanted what's best, I say, you wouldn't have told Silver Pines you held my POA. They left a voicemail. I recorded the time and the callback. Your claim is false. I asked them to document my objection. Brandon goes pale. They called you? They called me, I say. And then they emailed me their admissions packet with the binding arbitration and indemnity clauses. I forwarded it to my attorney. All of this is written evidence now. Ashley's phone buzzes. She reads, blanches, and shows it to Brandon. He curses under his breath. I don't need to know what it says. I've learned to love not knowing. He squares his shoulders for one last gambit. We'll see you in probate. We'll contest the will. I swallow a laugh. There's nothing to contest. Emily's estate is closed. This asset was mine before the sale. You're threatening the past because you don't like the present. Hale clears his throat. Okay. Here's what's going to happen. Mr. Bennett retains possession through Sunday midnight per his agreement. On Monday, at 9 a.m., keys transition to the new owner at Granite Title. If you have a civil dispute, take it to court. Today, you leave. Ashley's eyes shine with a mix of fury and tears engineered to recruit strangers. They don't work on paper, and they don't work on cops holding paper. She plays her last card, whittled to a splinter. What about holidays? What about us? Healthy families, I say. Start with boundaries. If you want holidays, start there. They game the doing another where. They retreat in stages: anger, bargaining, silence, classic grief. Just not for a person. For access. SUV doors slam. Tires hiss on wet pavement. Quiet returns a cleaner quiet. Hale passes the envelopes back through the slot. You did your homework, Mr. Bennett. If they come back tonight, call us. We'll note this as a resolved civil standby. Thank you, I say, for liking paper. He chuckles. I like clean paper. There's a difference. SFX. Footsteps. Then, a softer knock. Mrs. Ramirez again, framed by the camera, holding up her phone. I typed a witness statement while they argued, she says through the closed door. Timestamps, what I saw, no adjectives. Want me to email it to your lawyer? Yes, please, I say. You just became Exhibit A. She smiles. I figured. I dated it properly. When she leaves, I sit at the table and add to my memo. 9/7 arrival. 9:31 officers on scene. 9:56 departure. Letter delivered and read on camera. False POA claim documented via Silver Pines call. Storage receipts provided. No access granted. No yelling from me. Witness statement pending to counsel. I forward the memo, the video clip, and stills to Lena with one subject line. The reveal clean. Her reply is immediate. Perfect. I'm drafting a cease and direct. No further contact except through me. No impersonation of authority. No facility inquiries. If they threaten APS again, I'll meet them with the packet you handed the officers. I make tea, finally tasting the air like it belongs to me. On the bench by the door sits the coffee they left, still warm in cardboard. I leave it there as a reminder. Gifts attached to control are invoices, not kindness. In the late light, the bay window paints gold across the floor. I lift Emily's pocket watch, wind it once, and listen. Build what lasts. Today, what lasts is proof. Tomorrow, the locks pass to a new chapter. I won't be in that house, but I'll be in one piece. Email whoosh. Printer warms. Wind rattles a loose downspout. By noon, Lena's subject line hits like a gavel. New documents. Potential forgery divided by false filing. I open the PDF packet. First page. A rejected recording from 6 months ago, something styled as a notice of authority, asserting that Ashley had temporary management rights over my property for safety. The registry clerk stamped rejected across it wrong. Statute, wrong format, wrong world. Phone rings. I answer on speaker. Tom, Lena. We pulled more threads, she says. Jonah got the notary journal from a traveling notary who stamped that garbage document. The journal shows Ashley presented her own ID and signed a declaration about you, not as you, claiming you'd authorized her. No POA attached. No evidence. It read like a trial balloon. I feel my molars grind. They were measuring the fence. They were testing the lock, Lena says. Also, 2 months later, someone tried a USPS change of address on you to a P.O. box in Brandon's name. It was flagged and canceled. I've asked the Postal Inspection Service to preserve logs. Copy, I say. Because I'm done saying please. Last item, she continues. Yesterday, Silver Pines notes show POA on file, verbal by daughter. We requested and received the call, log time, staff initials, and a blank POA documents received field. That false representation is now documented. She pauses to let the pieces settle. We're shifting from defense to offense. How loud? I ask. Not loud, she says. Paper loud. Keyboard clacks rapid, precise. I watch live as 3 letters populate the portal. Cease and direct. Family. No further contact with me about housing, finances, or medical matters, except through counsel. No claims, verbal or written, that they hold any power of attorney or other authority. No third-party facility inquiries. Violations equals automatic referral to county attorney for potential forgery, false filing, and attempted financial exploitation of an elder. Deadline to acknowledge in writing. 5 p.m. 2 business days. Preservation notices, third parties. To Silver Pines. Preserve all call logs, emails, intake notes, and any POA documents. Send a correction note that no authority exists. To the notary. Preserve the journal page, ID images, and any communications with Ashley divided by Brandon. Do not alter records. To USPS. Preserve the change of address, request metadata, bank and title alerts. To Harbor Private Informer Bank, flag accounts for any unauthorized inquiry by name. Route to compliance. Do not disclose balances or locations. Read them. she says, then authorize me to send. I read. They're surgical. No adjectives, only statutes and consequences. Send. Email whoosh 3 times. Before the tea cools, Silver Pines replies, we have updated Mr. Bennett's chart to reflect no POA on file. And we've placed a compliance note requiring written consent for all future inquiries. We will preserve call recordings divided by logs per your request. Then the notary. We have preserved the journal entry and the signer's ID images. We will cooperate with lawful requests. Then Harbor Private. We've placed a VIP no disclose flag on Mr. Bennett's profile. Any inquiry routes to the private banking manager. Outbound wires remain in person only with voice print verification. I forward them all to my boundary file and add a memo line. Third parties corrected. Preservation in place. Text pings, family wakes. Ashley, you really emailed our retirement community? That's humiliating. Families don't do this. You're being vindictive. Brandon, we spoke for you because you refused to be reasonable. This is a paperwork misunderstanding, not a crime. I don't answer. Lena does. A new email to them lands with the energy of a courtroom door closing. From Attorney Lena Park. Subject, representation and notice of potential criminal exposure. Asterisk, I represent Mr. Bennett. All future communications go through me. You are not authorized to act for him. Our office has copies of the rejected recording attempting to assert temporary rights over his real property. A third-party note reflecting a false verbal claim of POA, and a flagged USPS change of address attempt. This conduct may constitute violations under state law, including but not limited to forgery divided by false instrument, tampering with public records, and attempted financial exploitation of an elder. We have issued preservation notices and will refer to the county attorney if further misrepresentations occur. Option: sign the attached acknowledgement and non-interference agreement by 5 p.m. 2 business days from now, agreeing to 1. No facility inquiries, 2. No POA claims, 3. Communications through counsel only, 4. No entry attempts, and 5. Retrieval of stored personal items by appointment, or we proceed with referral. L. Park, Esquire asterisk. A full minute of nothing. Then the typing bubble appears and vanishes like a conscience trying to load. They pivot to guilt. Ashley, email. He's my father. You can't gatekeep my family. Lena, we are gatekeeping his rights. Sign the non-interference or we escalate. Calendar ping. While the storm sits quiet, I meet Evan at Harbor Private to finalize a couple more locks. Trusted contact, added. Lena. No branch transfer without IDs. A cashier's check pickup list of 1. Me. On the way home, I buy 2 more tamper seals and a cheap body cam that records locally. If Sunday turns noisy, I prefer a second angle. Doorbell. Mrs. Ramirez again, this time with a manila envelope. Stamped, signed, she says. Witness statement. Dates, times, what I heard. No color. My son's a cop, he trained me. Thank you, I tell her. You just made it easier to stay calm. It is the pressed. Back at the table, Lena pings one more time. This one a quiet hammer. 2. County Attorney's Office. Intake. Subject: preservation and advisory potential. Elder financial exploitation, Bennett. Counsel for Mr. Bennett here. We are not asking for action today. We are lodging preservation and advising of a documented pattern. Attempted false property authority filing, rejected. Facility note referencing false POA claim, and a postal change of address attempt. All third-party records preserved. Our client is competent, represented, and safe. If additional conduct occurs, we will forward complete exhibits with sworn witness statement and officer civil standby report. I exhale. Not revenge. Risk management with escalation ladders. Another email family. 3. Is now silent. Then a single ding. Ashley signed PDF. Acknowledgement and non-interference agreement. Her signature wobbles. Brandon's is tight and angry. They initial each clause, including no POA claims and no facility inquiries. It's not remorse, it's evidence. I countersign electronically. Lena files it like she files thunderstorms. In order. The house answers with a late sunbeam across the floor. Emily's pocket watch ticks like it approves. The day's double twist isn't theatrical, it's procedural. The people who tried to speak as me now have to sign that they will never speak for me again. I add the last memo line for today. Forgery thread secured. Rejected filing. Notary journal. Facility log. USPS attempt. Cease and direct served. Non-interference signed. Preservation in place. DA on quiet notice. Boundary upgraded from door hardware to hard law. Tomorrow, the keys change hands. I won't need to raise my voice. The paper already did. Sunday morning light. Coffee pours. Printer idles to a stop. The house is quiet in a way that doesn't accuse me anymore. My phone buzzes. Lena. Swing by. 10 minutes. Her office smells like fresh toner and rain-damp wool. No small talk. She closes the door, sets a Redwell on the table, and unexpectedly turns off the recorder. This part's not for the file, she says. It's for context. I wait. My mother, Lena says evenly, was almost you. Not the engineering, the enabling. My uncle convinced her to temporarily manage her accounts after my dad died. Verbal POA at the bank, change of address to his apartment. He called it protecting family. He cleaned her out of a year's savings before we froze it. She still apologizes for making it awkward. I feel something settle into place like a beam finding its pocket. That's why you knew every move. She nods once. It's muscle memory. I took your case the second I saw the trial balloon in the registry because I don't like seeing that movie on repeat. Thanks to give her. She flips the Redwell open. Which brings us to today. You have the non-interference signed. You have preservation everywhere it matters. If you want, we can stop here and let silence do its work. I let the option sit. It doesn't fit yet. Or, she continues, we can give them a legitimate off-ramp that isn't just promise to behave. Boundaries plus restitution. If they won't take it, we refer to the DA with a bow on top. What does restitution look like? She slides a one-page document across, tabs already in place. Voluntary repayment and cooling-off agreement. And blick. Line items, straightforward. Repayment within 60 days of the documented amounts Tom previously covered. Vehicle transmission $3,000. Rent bridge $1,000. $400. X3 equals $4,200. Miscellaneous utility divided by grocery transfers, $1 per your bank statements. Will total today. Optional. $1. Symbolic rent for your use and occupancy kept. We don't edit history to be nicer than it was. Wearly. No contact period, 12 months. Communications limited to counsel only. No facility inquiries divided by no authority claims, affirm again. Breach equals automatic DA referral with full packet registry. Reject. Notary journal. Silver Pines log. USPS attempt. Witness statement. Civil standby notes. Video stills. Storage pickup by appointment. Within 30 days, after that, fees theirs. Chain of custody already in place. Mutual non-disparagement. No posting, no smearing. If they try an online crusade, we file the paperwork and let a judge do the talking. Choice of law divided by venue. Rockingham County. No binding arbitration tricks here. You're asking them to put real skin back in the game, I say. I'm offering them a path where they pay what they should have and leave you alone. Lena answers. It's both merciful and enforceable. Courts like agreements that fix things and prevent new fires. And if they refuse, we send the referral packet Monday at noon. She taps the Redwell. It is already alphabetized. I stare at the paper for a beat too long and hear my own voice from last week. Was I enabling their toxic behavior by being too nice? This isn't nice. This is fair with a fuse. Send it, I say. Give them the off-ramp with a clock. SFX. Email whoosh. Lena's subject line is clean as a scalpel. Subject. Opportunity to resolve voluntary repayment and 12-month cooling off. Body. Signed by Tuesday 5 p.m., or we refer. We sit in the quiet that follows a decision. It feels like a room with fresh drywall, echoey. Promising. Lena breaks it first. Softer. You know what my mom said to me after we froze the accounts? What? I just didn't want to be difficult. She half smiles, no humor in it. Difficult is what people call boundaries when they prefer access. I nod. Emily would have liked you. She would have built better cabinets than mine, Lena says. It lands like a truce with the past. Phone. A chime from my Harbor private app. New message from Evan. Added secondary transaction alert. Any outbound over $5,000 triggers a manager callback. Confirm? I text confirm. Locks on locks. It calms the parts of me that used to barter peace for quiet. On my way out, Lena hands me a small note card. Her handwriting is impeccable. Boundaries aren't punishment, they're maintenance. Put it where you'll see it, she says. I drive home and tape it inside Emily's cedar chest, next to the pocket watch. Maintenance. Afternoon wind. A gull. The house creaks politely. By 3 p.m. an email pings from Brandon, subject line legal enough to be trying on a suit. Opportunity to resolve. Will consider repayment if Tom agrees to meet without counsel to discuss a family path forward and signs a narrow POA to cover medical emergencies only. We also want a statement that he won't pursue criminal charges. I forward it to Lena with one word. No. Her reply to them is sunlight on glass. Declined. There will be no meeting without counsel and no POA now or later. Your consideration is not acceptance. Either sign the repayment and cooling off agreement as is, or expect referral. SFX. Another ding this time from Ashley. It's shorter, rawr. If I pay you back, will it fix anything? Or are you done with me? I stare at it. There's the part of me that still reaches for a wrench to fix other people's leaks. And there's the part that finally learned some leaks belong to the neighbor's house. I type what I can live with. Repayment fixes money. The rest needs time and therapy. I won't discuss it outside counsel for 12 months. That is my boundary. I add a second line. For me as much as her. If you want a future, stop calling control, care. No send. I pass it to Lena. She trims it to what belongs in a legal channel, sends a stripped version, and files the original in boundary file as sentiment, not exhibit. At 5, a signed PDF lands with the thud of a choice. Voluntary repayment and cooling off agreement. Ashley's signature is clearer this time. Brandon's is still clenched. They initial every box, including no POA now or later. Exhale, I didn't know I was holding. Lena countersigns and sends a wire template for their repayments. Harbor private, receive only details, no outgoing permissions, no link to my daily use. I forward it to Evan with a note. Expect 3 deposits. Hold 2 business days before release to checking. He thumbs up, reacts like a teenager with a safe full of rules. I go for a walk. The cul-de-sac feels like itself again, trash cans obedient, maples shedding red onto asphalt. Mrs. Ramirez waters her mums and lifts her hose in a salute. Told you paper feeds peace, she says. Paper and time, I answer. Same thing sometimes, she says, and I believe her. Back home, I make a new checklist, post-transfer life. Switch home base to a smaller place with sunlight and no ghosts. Set an appointment with Dr. Patel, the community therapist Lena mentioned, to pull out any guilt nails I still trip on. Update my will. Clear bequests. A trustee who isn't family. Charitable remainder for Emily's scholarship fund. Write a letter to future Tom. If anyone calls care without your consent, it's control. Hang up. Call Lena. Go for a walk. Phone buzz, Evan again. Short and practical. First repayment posted. $3,000. Holding per instruction. Then a second. $4,200 posted. My life comes back in small bricks. It's not glorious. It's exact. The double twist isn't that Lena had a personal reason. It's that I needed one to stop making my peace affordable. Her story turned my abstract anger into a standard of care. For myself, I sit by the bay window one last time and wind Emily's pocket watch. The tick is steady. I say it out loud so the rafters hear and remember. Boundaries aren't war. They're how love survives. Quote, tomorrow is the handoff. A new owner gets these walls. I get something better. A life that answers to me. Monday morning quiet. Key rings clink in an envelope. Printer stamps one last page. 9 a.m. Granite title. I hand Marta a labeled envelope. Buyer keys verified chain. She scans my ID. Notes the time, 9 hours, 1 minute, and 28 seconds, and slides a receipt across the table. Congratulations, Mr. Bennett. Possession transfers at 9:15. Congratulations to the house, I say. It gets a fresh story. White noise hush of a conference room. Chair legs whisper. On the way out, I call Evan. Close the internal hold, I tell him. Release funds into my private checking, but keep the guardrails. In person for anything big. Voice print for everything else. Already live, he says. And Tom, first repayment cleared. Second clears today. We'll post confirmations. Locks on locks. Piece on paper. Cut to the cul-de-sac. One last time. Mrs. Ramirez waves her hose like a baton. You going to say goodbye to the bay window? She asks. I said it yesterday, I answer. But I'll listen one more time. House door opens to empty rooms. Air feels lighter. I stand where sunlight always crosses the floor in a gold plank. I wind Emily's pocket watch. The tick lands like a metronome for a steadier life. Thanks, I say to the joists, to the nails, to the version of me who built a shelter and finally decided to live in one. Back on the porch, I tape a final index card inside the storm door for the buyers. Welcome home. The beam is true. The floors won't squeak. Read the binder on the counter service intervals, warranties, paint codes. Build what lasts. Door closes. Envelope seals. Footsteps to truck. Engine starts. I don't look back when I pull away. Houses deserve forward momentum too. New place. Door opens to a sunny, quiet one-bedroom. Cardboard scoots. Chair thumps once. The apartment is small, bright, honest. No ghosts. I put Emily's pocket watch on the bookshelf next to the note card. Lena wrote, "Boundaries aren't punishment, they're maintenance. Feels right. Tools belong by the workbench. Microwave beeps. Coffee pours. Pen scratches paper. I update my will with Lena on speaker. Executor. Not family. Specific bequests. Tools to a trade school program. Scholarship in Emily's name, funded via charitable remainder. Sealed letter to Ashley openable only after a therapist signs a one-page note confirming she completed 6 sessions on boundaries and financial ethics. No POA granted now or implied later. If I ever choose one, it will be narrow, time-limited, and revocable, and it won't be a relative who benefits from my decisions. Healthcare directives. My doctor, in writing, plus a HIPAA release listing names I trust. No verbal proxies. Lena emails draft language. I read every line and initial each margin. Paper that survives is paper I've actually read. Phone buzz. Harbor private alerts ping politely $3,000 cleared, $4,000, $200 pending. Brick by brick, balance resets to what truth looks like. I send one message out into the world through Lena. Not directly. Confirm receipt. Repayment and cooling off agreement fully executed. No direct contact for 1-2 months. Storage pickup by appointment only. After 30 days, fees theirs. Breach equals referral. L. Park, Esquire. Silence follows. But this silence isn't tense. It's structural. Community center hallway. A soft door close. Voices murmur distantly. Dr. Patel sits across from me, kind eyes, blunt questions. We meet for 45 minutes. He asks the one that turns the dial. What did being nice buy you that being fair couldn't? Temporary peace, I say. And what did it cost? My boundaries, I answer. And eventually, my dignity, he nods. Name that loss out loud when you feel guilty. Guilt is a poor historian. He gives me homework, 3 lines to repeat when the people pleaser in me wakes up hungry. Care without consent is control. My no isn't an attack, it's offense. If I have to choose between being liked and being safe, I choose safe, every time. I copy them onto a sticky note and put it on my fridge, right above the light switch. You see what you need when you need it. Afternoon. Printer hums once more. Pen taps a checklist. I assemble the post-transfer binder for future Tom. Bank protocols. Voice print. In person for wires. Trusted contact. Lena. No external links. Credit. Freeze remains on. Calendar reminder every 6 months to check all 3 bureaus. USPS. 2FA locked. No forwarding without a code I keep in the safe. Medical. Who to call, who not to. Doctor forms in the front. Legal. Copies of the non-interference, cease and direct. Witness statement. Civil standby card. And harbor private verification letter. Housing. Lease. Renter's insurance. Inventory photos. Ethical reminders. The note card. Boundaries are maintenance. I put the binder in the safe behind a dull picture no one would want to steal. It's not paranoid. It's maintenance. Late light. The city outside breathes. Phone buzzes Evan again. All repayments cleared, he says. Held 2 business days per instruction. Anything else? Yes, I say. Please add 1 more tripwire. If anyone, even someone claiming to be my caretaker, calls to check balances, put them on hold. Route to compliance and call me. He chuckles. Already in your file. Evening rain returns. Softer. Window rattles once, then settles. An email from Lena lands subject. File closed, for now. Inside, a list of what stands if anything tilts. Executed agreements with time-stamped signatures. Third-party preservation letters acknowledged. County attorney intake flagged as advisory on file. Officer civil standby log number. Video stills of the letter read. Witness statement notarized. Storage receipts with chain of custody. At the bottom, a line in plain English. You did this clean, Tom. If they test the fence again, paper answers. Go live your life. I close the laptop and let the apartment be what it is. Enough. Pen clicks. Tone shifts to precise, bullet-clean cadence. Still first person. Psychology. What actually happened? This wasn't a fight about square footage. It was about control. Dressing entitlement as care is textbook gaslighting. When someone calls your independent choices unsafe, ask yourself, unsafe for whom? People-pleasing trains you to become the family's shock absorber. Shock absorbers wear out. Enablers call it love. Therapists call it codependency. If the cost of peace is your boundaries, it isn't peace. Just deferred conflict with interest. Narcissists don't hear no. They hear try another angle. Stop feeding angles. Feed silence and written policies. Legal divided by financial, how the win was built. Title tells the truth. If the deed is in your name, no one sells your house without your signature. No POA equals no authority. Never email wire instructions. Verify by phone using a number from a business card you physically possess. Banks that matter love friction. Use and occupancy is not equal to lease. It gave me time to move and stage boundaries lawfully. Preservation letters are quiet hammers. They freeze the record at third parties before stories get remembered differently. Cease and direct converts drama to procedure. If someone keeps helping, you escalate to paper. IRC Section 121 matters. Know your capital gains exclusion on a primary residence. Don't let amateurs shame you with jargon. Credit freezes, PINs, 2FA, and a trusted contact at your bank are boundary devices as real as deadbolts. If you ever do need a POA, make it narrow, specific, dated, revocable, and preferably not in the hands of someone who benefits financially. Practical playbook, what I'll hand to any neighbor who whispers, they called me a burden. Document now. Screenshots, call logs, contemporaneous notes, timestamps or oxygen. Call a lawyer who lives on paper, not vibes. Estate plus real estate is a strong combo. Audit access, bank logins, USPS, utilities, insurance add PINs and 2FA. Control the asset. If selling, demand cash, as is, short inspection, tight escrow, route contact. All communications go through my attorney. Memorize it. Don't record illegally. Ask your lawyer about consent rules in your state. Use notes and third-party records. Expect guilt scripts. Translate, you're being difficult, your boundary is working. Therapy is strategy. A good therapist names the pattern, cuts the cord to guilt, and hands you sentences that save your life at 2 a.m. Life. What I'm actually keeping. I didn't keep the house. I kept my authority. I didn't keep the old keys. I kept the right to choose who gets new ones. I didn't keep access to me wide open. I kept time to let people earn it back maybe. Phone buzz, softer than rain. A short, cautious email from Ashley routed through Lena per the agreement arrives. We picked up our boxes. We'll make the payments per schedule. I'll be in therapy. That's all. That's enough for now. Not forgiveness, not a reunion. Just the sound of a boundary doing its job without fanfare. I make tea and stand by a window that doesn't know my name yet. I set the cup beside Emily's pocket watch and the note card that tells the truth in 6 words. Watch ticks. Rain hushes. Boundaries aren't war, I say to the room that is mine. They're how love survives. The light in the glass agrees. Fade. If this story taught me anything, it's that mental health starts where your boundaries begin. Saying no isn't cruelty. It's hygiene. You don't owe a thesis to justify protecting your peace. The moment I stopped being the enabler, the family shock absorber, and started being fair, the gaslighting fog lifted. I learned to translate guilt scripts in real time. You're being difficult equals your boundary is working. It's for your safety equals it's for our access. And here's a truth I wish I'd learned decades earlier. Care without consent is control. A narcissist will call your autonomy an attack. Let them. Paper beats performance deeds, emails, receipts, written evidence, because the healthiest kind of power is quiet and verifiable. Protect your bank accounts, freeze your credit, route contact through counsel. And don't confuse a warm tone with a safe plan. In the end, I didn't win by yelling. I won by documenting. Boundaries aren't war. They're how love, self-love included, survives. Your turn, Reddit-style. AITA for handling it this way: selling, locking it down, and insisting on no contact through counsel. What would you have done in my situation, especially when family kept calling control care? Have you ever dealt with an entitled relative who treated your life like their backup plan? Drop your survival tips below, scripts that worked, tech locks you recommend, credit freezes, 2FA, bank voice prints, and the one boundary you wish you'd set sooner. If you're in a similar mess right now, what's the one document you'll secure today? Will, deed, bank alerts, USPS lock. Pick one and start. Be kind to future you. Remember, no is a complete sentence, and silence can be a strategy, especially when your paper is louder than their performance.